My name is Charlotte Bacon, and I'm a novelist and a mother of 2 kids, a distance runner, and a person with a marriage that's lasted for 14 years, all of which requires a lot of stamina and a lot of ability to see long-term projects through to an end. That's the way they go together. In a lot of ways they don't, so it's a complex and curious job. I'm a teacher. I've been a professor for a long time. I'm an inveterate traveler, insatiably curious about the world, and basically still making it up as I go. So, and at 45, that's pretty good. It was very funny and providential and kind of wonderful. I was in the Dunkin' Donuts with one of my oldest friends, Rebecca, and my son, Toby, who's 10. And Toby and I had been doing research at the New York Public Library because we were trying to find out information about our house in terms of zoning. And the big, old, beautiful Sanborn maps are at the NYPL. And I'd promised Toby, as my research assistant, a fee of a Dunkin' Donuts chai latte. So he was collecting on his fee, and Rebecca was very kindly accompanying us. We were sitting there enjoying Dunkin' Donuts and thinking about the new year and thinking about the passage of 2009. And Sarah came in with her very cute little toddler, and I noticed her from behind because her stroller flipped over because she took something off the back of it and it immediately collapsed, which mine does frequently. So I thought, oh, there's a mommy with a little one and a heavy bag and a stroller, and there you have it. And it's, you know, incredibly complicated and difficult. And then she sat down next to us, and Rebecca and I were chatting, and then you asked us something. You sort of introduced yourself, and I'd had my eye on little Ari because I love babies and I love mommies, and I'm just interested in the whole process of how you go about managing the whole thing. And you were by yourself, so I thought, oh, this, you know, this is lovely. This is really nice. So you asked us a question.
Yeah.
And then we started to chat about life and art and writing and parenting and birth and dreams and all those fabulous things.
So one of the things I really appreciated about you and Toby is that Toby really had impeccable manners. I mean, Toby actually, I mean, you know New York. No one ever offers you a seat on the train. Nobody
Right.
holds the door.
Right.
Toby put his chai latte down and was like, Sarah, do you want to sit down? You know, and that was just really amazing. How did you instill those manners in Toby growing up?
Oh, you know, just feed him regularly. It
Right,
just, it
basically.
really, really helps. You
Yeah.
know, just
smack him
a
around.
whip and,
Yeah.
and a smack in the face. It just really makes a difference.
Definitely.
Basically, I come from a family that still values manners, and so I have a kind of visceral response to situations in which people are not polite
Right.
and aren't thoughtful. And for me, manners is nothing more than putting someone else in front of yourself. That's what it means to be gentlemanly, gentlewomanly. That's what it means to be kind and to have good manners, is to think of other people first.
Okay.
And it's very basic to me. It's not about sort of where the fork goes or how to daub tomato soup off your lip. It's not about those sort of niceties. It's about looking at other people and treating everybody as an individual and being thoughtful. And that's the challenge in New York, is that it's very easy to protect yourself, to guard yourself against interactions with others, to say, too much, been there, done that, this, don't want to get involved, not interested. And the challenge and the joy of New York is choosing to stay involved with people. And if you do choose that, why not choose a path of kindness? And so that's just sort of what I try to do most of the time, and I fail frequently. But if you try consistently enough with children, they'll give you a second and a third and a fourth and 120th chance.
Right.
And so he just keeps seeing that, and that's what becomes part of what we do.
Right.
My feeling with parenting, and I'm trying to really apply it now, is that less is more in terms of conversation. It's modeling, it's showing, it's just being what it is you would like to help them become.
Right.
And serving as a kind of guide in that way. So please and thank you matter to me. Tone matters to me. Recognizing elders, a sense of the tribe. We're all part of it. Chores are a way of parceling out collective work that has to be done, that generally is not particularly enjoyable. It's repetitive. It can be quite dull. and that but it has to get done. It is also a way, though, if you look at it a little more creatively, it's a way to think about power in a family. Who controls what? Who controls what gets done, how it gets done, and by whom? So it's very interesting to think about it from a metacognition perspective. So it doesn't just become something, your hand's not constantly on the sponge and you're just thinking, I went to college in order to scrub the top of my counter 5 times a day.
Yeah.
You manage to make it something a bit larger. My son Toby, who is 10, is not a natural chore doer. But I have learned that for him, I can tie it to his allowance. There's a set of very prescribed chores that if he does them, he gets $5 at the end of the week that I put in his bank account. He doesn't get a $5 at the end. It goes right into the bank account, so it's linked to saving. It's linked to you do this, then this happens. With the little one, it's still much more about a kind of participation and a kind of joy. There's a piece of me as a feminist and as a woman that thinks I'm inculcating her in the horrible, large queendom of housework. Why am I doing this?
Right.
I'm making this sort of something that she is good at, but I'm exempting my son from competence at it. It's life. You're trying to figure it out. It's not simple. You work with each child. Toby does know how to do a variety of things around the house. I taught him to do the laundry the other day. That may be his thing. Maybe he's not the dish guy. He'll be the laundry guy. Right. Everybody gets to kick in where they can. You have to learn to value what people do to the limits of their capacity. And you have to sort of evaluate and make mistakes about the limits of the capacities of your children. My daughter is Thea, and she's 3.5. And she is somebody who loves to help and to be part of something that is bigger just than her own sort of individual realm of activities. So she already sets the table. She knows how to do it. She's orderly in her mind and in her being, rather unlike me and Toby, who are rather chaotic in certain ways in our nature. And there's a kind of wildness to us that Thea does not have. She likes things to go in a certain place. So I've channeled that into giving her a sense of control and power. My challenges with Toby are much more about helping him stay steady emotionally, rather than having him help me out.
So, when we met at Dunkin' Donuts, I was talking to you about tantrums, and you know that that's a huge part of the toddler age.
It is.
Can you think of a particular instance in which one of your kids had a tantrum and how you dealt with that?
I've got 2 examples. One where it worked really well, and one where my strategy absolutely fell to pieces and we all went to bits.
Right.
The first one was when Toby was 3, and we were in France for part of the summer. And he decided in the middle of a crosswalk in Aix-en-Provence to lie down in the crosswalk and start to scream.
Wow.
It was dangerous.
Yes.
It was a foreign country. The French were not patient. We were clearly American. It could not have been more humiliating, embarrassing. Top of his lungs. We held up traffic. And for some reason, my husband and I looked at each other, and we were able to start telling each other jokes. Something happened, there was some linguistic loop, we got onto something, and we were in hysterics. We were in some way, shape, or form able to say, so what?
Whatever. Yeah.
He's having a fit. The French are upset. We're embarrassed. It could be disastrous. We'll never see these people again. Who cares? It doesn't matter. C'est la vie.
Yeah.
Voila.
That's it.
And we tickled Toby. Brad took him from the bottom of his feet and basically shook him upside down, not in any kind of aggressive or horrible way, but just like literally upended him.
Yeah.
So the energy had to shift. There was no way it could stay the same because ours wasn't matching his. And that's the key in tantrum. Don't go to their level. Don't get down and dirty and frantic and possessed the way they are. They need to see somebody else is in control. Somebody else is not going to be flipped out by the big news that they are really, really upset. Empathy is less helpful than a kind of cool, calm assessment that still has that base of warmth and that base of love. I'm there for you, baby. I love you. You're the best. But you are really in tough shape right now, aren't you?
Yep.
There it goes.